The camera bursts into life as the lens jerks wildly. The motionless legs of a man fill the frame as he lays on the jagged, rocky ground. Panic fills the air. It's chaos. A different man's voice, cracked and heaving, gasps for breath between words. Please, no, just open your eyes. It is raw and panicked. A hesitant female voice, the person holding the camera, speaks. Sam, Don't say it! Sam screams, shaking with desperation. It's visceral. The sound distorts briefly. Then he collapses into sobs. Between gasps, he splutters. What was that thing? A second woman speaks. Her voice falters. I don't know. I hit it. You saw it, right? It split in half. The male snaps back instantly. That wasn't normal. I saw the bullet hit. I got it, and it just ran away. Whatever it was. The camera spins suddenly, catching fragments of jagged rock, a smear of sky, a distant forest. The male voice fades out into quiet pleading. The camera operator's breath trembles into the microphone. Guys, the camera swings around violently. Where are we? This footage, along with over 13 hours of additional recordings, was recovered from two 128GB memory cards found inside a torn travel bag. The bag contained a head-mounted civilian camera rig, the kind used for hiking or climbing. The recordings take place over the course of 3 to 4 days and document the movements of a small group of civilian hikers who became lost in a location we must keep redacted for the time being. The following footage is disturbing, and viewer discretion is advised. Two people stand in frame. The man, Subject A, is about 25, skilled in fieldcraft with apparent medical training. He is helping to adjust the head-mounted camera worn by Subject B, later identified in the footage as Sam, a law student who appears to be close, possibly romantically involved, with Subject A. Nearby, Subject C, a woman in her 30s, armed with a .22 caliber rifle, teases Sam for his lack of outdoor skills. It is quickly established she is Sam's elder sister, a self-professed hunter, hyper-vigilant compared to her brother. The fourth member, Subject D, later identified as Rebecca, walks at the rear, seems to have some foraging knowledge and relevant books, but is under-equipped and already showing signs of paranoia. Whether this is a pre-existing condition or induced by the events on the mountain remains unknown. With the camera secured, the group begins traversing up a rocky trail toward higher elevations. Behind them, a steep slope drops to a forest under a clear sky. Over 12 minutes into the recording, Subject B points the camera towards Subject D, keeping pace behind. The camera catches their neon tents far below. At this stage, the footage is largely uneventful, but it doesn't stay that way for long. At 23 minutes and 19 seconds, Subject B spots something in the undergrowth, an animal carcass, and adjusts the camera to frame it. The remains of a small possum fill the lens, its body broken and twisted. As the camera shifts back toward the trail, the slope below is visible. Their neon tents of their base camp are gone. No one remarks on it or even seems to notice. At this stage, Subject A suggests taking a break. Subject B removes the camera apparatus, fumbling with the device for several seconds. In this time, he is shown to be in a similar age range to Subject A. At 23 minutes, 33 seconds, the recording stops. After 4 seconds of corruption, it resumes. It appears that roughly 1 to 2 hours have passed, the sun now low on the horizon. Subject C now operates the camera, filming Subjects A and B ahead. Subject D lags behind. None of the group appear to acknowledge the dark purple wildflowers with forked foliage growing along the trail, flowers that change with each subsequent viewing of the footage. At 48 minutes, 17 seconds, they reach a flat area, marked by several trees and gray rocks. Subject D gestures uphill. The camera turns and focuses on a large member of the Capernet family, which includes sheep and mountain goats, standing roughly 30 meters away. It is perfectly still, its long, uncurled horns silhouetted against the sky. For 18 minutes, it doesn't move. Then, without warning, the creature lowers its head and starts charging down the slope, letting out a hoarse call that startles the group. Subject C swings the camera, tracking the animal's movement, and captures its body tearing in two. The horned animal splits itself through its center. The halves move as though nothing has changed. They continue independently, charging after Subject A, who is scrambling down the slope, desperately trying to catch the rest of the group. The camera shakes as Subject C fumbles with their rifle. In the next instant, both halves of the creature slam into Subject A, an impact that sends him sprawling. He suffers blunt force trauma and several severe lacerations across the abdomen, causing him to tumble down the rocky slope. The bisected halves of the goat move close, knitting together seamlessly. It advances on Subject A, who is lying motionless on the slope. Subject C takes aim and fires the rifle. The round strikes the creature in the neck. It recoils briefly before it retreats up the mountain. The rest of the group, still unharmed, rush to Subject A's side. His injuries are severe. The footage cuts as they reach him. Time span number 1 runs for a total of 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 2 seconds, covering 2 to 3 hours of the events involving 4 hikers. This footage and the other recovered recordings are collectively designated as SCP-3517. The origin of the events is unknown. The memory cards were recovered from a rocky alcove on the northeast face of Redacted, believed to be the mountain where the group was hiking. Over the course of all 3 recordings, the recording device is used by all members of the hiking party, with roughly equal distribution. Unlike the initial recording, timespan number 2 contains no cuts. It is shorter and appears to be the result of the group reactivating the camera without realizing. The footage has been reformatted as an audio log by the SCP Foundation, as the visuals contain very little useful video footage. While the camera is unable to focus on anything, the audio is clearly taken from moments after the initial footage ceased. The group has stopped at the mountainside. Subject A remains critically injured. Subject B, Sam, is audibly distraught and can be heard begging Subject A to open his eyes. Subject C, while seemingly shaken, appears to be trying to retain her composure. Subject D addresses Sam by name, implying that Subject A may already be deceased. Sam shouts at her not to say it. Subject A's voice is never heard again. Sam questions what creature attacked them. Subject C insists that she hit the animal with a round from a rifle. She saw the entry wound. Yet to her astonishment, the creature ran away without showing any signs of injury. Sam can be heard trying to wake Subject A up. This is interrupted by Subject D trying to get the attention of the others. Subject C refers to her as Rebecca, who asks where their base camp is. This is the first instance in the recording where any of the group acknowledge that the camp has vanished from view. A brief pause follows, then the sound of movement as Subject C attempts to locate it. After 13 seconds, she appears to become agitated, questioning the situation. Rebecca asks if it's on the other side of the mountain, suggesting the group had hiked for further than they'd initially planned to. Subject C seemed to refute this. The group can't have traveled that far. Sam urges that the group leave the mountainside before dark. Rebecca refuses to carry Subject A's body down. Taking control of the situation, Subject C instructs the others to make camp where they are. She orders to cover Subject A with his bedroll and takes turns keeping watch. She asks Sam whether he has cell reception. He confirms he doesn't. Rebecca interjects, saying that she never even brought a specific item with her, but is cut off by Subject C. It is likely that Rebecca is referring to a cell or satellite phone. The wind obscures the next 4 minutes and 51 seconds of audio as they set up camp. Sam mentions they only have an hour of daylight left. Rebecca volunteers to retrieve firewood, while Sam covers Subject A's corpse. Subject C states that she'll establish a perimeter. The recording ends when Subject D finds the camera and switches it off. Based on the recovered footage and audio, the SCP Foundation has determined that the events of SCP-3517 takes place over 3 to 4 days. It is believed that these recordings are in some way linked to a group of civilian hikers reported missing following an excursion to Redacted, located within the Redacted range. The exact locations have not been disclosed to researchers, pending the further investigation into SCP-3517, as no definitive conclusions have been reached about what unfolded. The area believed to be the last known location of the group was previously considered for potential SCP status. Several civilian disappearances are believed to have taken place here, stretching back to 1950. It is estimated that as many as 38 people have gone missing, almost double that of similar mountain ranges. At the time, the anomaly classification was rejected, as such disappearances, especially among inexperienced hikers, are not uncommon. Those that had taken place in the Redacted range were deemed too low to be of major concern. Following the discovery of SCP-3517, however, The Foundation is making a more concerted effort to thoroughly comb the area before any anomalous classification is given. The third of the recordings, archived as timespan number 3, is a collection of unrelated shorter recordings, the result of Sam and Rebecca taking turns using the camera. Over the space of 2 hours and 3 minutes, the footage captures both candid moments as well as several instances of anomalous fauna. This takes place over several days, judging by the different position of the sun in the sky during the various clips. The recordings begin at daybreak as Rebecca pans over the horizon. The surrounding geography is immediately inconsistent with previous footage. There are a number of similar but distinct mountainous woodlands visible in the distance. However, some areas in the nearby valley are obscured by a low fog. Sam and Subject C are nearby, along with a rope-tied sleeping bag, determined to be Subject A's body. The panning shot also reveals a number of unidentified songbirds in the distance, of indeterminate and possibly anomalous species. As with the flowers documented earlier, these details change in subsequent viewings of SCP-3517 footage, along with the shape of distant cloud cover and the location of rocks and outcroppings. The clip concludes with Rebecca making an indiscernible remark to Subject C. When the footage resumes, it is early morning. The camera, now being held by Sam, focuses on Subject C, who is aiming her rifle at a pheasant, though the bird's gender and maturity seem to deviate between viewings. Subject C waits, then fires. The pheasant takes flight at a 45-degree angle away from the group, seemingly unharmed. However, the camera captures the bird seeming to twist in the air before exploding into a shower of viscera. The footage shows what appears to be a dozen skinless, newly hatched chicks landing on the mountain, squealing in agony. Subject B can be heard swearing indistinctly behind the camera, while Subject D can be heard vomiting at the sight. The chicks continue squealing for several seconds as Sam stumbles away and the clip ends. When the footage resumes, it is now mid-afternoon. The camera is pointed at Sam and his sister, out across a rocky plateau, though the device is out of focus. The siblings are having a discussion as to whether or not they should keep carrying Subject A's body with them. Sam remains vehemently opposed to abandoning the corpse, while Subject C insists they approach the situation practically. Her tone indicates a state of severe emotional withdrawal. Rebecca, presumed to be the member filming the interaction, does not contribute to the conversation. By the time the clip ends, Sam appears to have been convinced that leaving Subject A's remains behind is the best solution. When the next recording begins, the subjects are shown to be around 4 meters from a cliff, sometime in the late afternoon. The cliff is inconsistent with any known geography, and attempts to identify it have been unsuccessful. While the audio is once again hard to hear, Subject C appears to be distraught. Sam attempts to console her, though he eventually succumbs to the same emotional distress. Rebecca can be heard weeping and breathing raggedly while she holds the camera. The footage turns toward an unknown direction, revealing an unusual cloud formation, one of the few details that remains consistent between all the viewings of SCP-3517. This shot also shows the mountain, which appears to remain at the same height as in the previous clips. It seems that in spite of the group's consistent effort, they cannot escape the mountainside or get any lower. Not long after, the camera is switched off. The footage resumes in mid-morning. The clip appears to have started recording accidentally during a moment of crisis. While the audio is mostly indecipherable, both Sam and Rebecca can be heard in a state of panic as Subject C screams at them. She demands they keep moving. Rebecca's voice indicates she is crying, though the clip cuts off mid-sentence. The subsequent clip takes place in the evening. Rebecca is watching Subject C, who is fixated on the horizon. As the camera pans, the footage shows that the cliff from earlier is in the far distance, roughly half a kilometer to a kilometer away. Portions of the horizon show deep fissures, with surrounding woodland shrouded in heavy fog. Sam tilts the camera up, then around their current camp, which is littered with several round white stones and fossilized wood. After 16 minutes, he turns the camera around to his own dirty and distressed face. He utters the words, "I'm so sorry," before ending the recording. The footage resumes in the early morning. Indistinct sounds of panic come from the group as the camera falls to the ground, showing a skewed view of the trio. Surrounding them are large, irregular gray and white spheres that appear to be growing. Their origin is unclear at the time. Rebecca is seen grabbing the camera before one of the spheres engulfs it. A clearly emotional and angry Sam kicks out at one of the spheres. On contact, the object inverts, revealing thick red and pink gills. White phyla spread across the ground, suggesting that this may be some anomalous species of fungus. The force of the sphere's inversion causes a clear material to spray out in all directions, covering the other spheres and triggering the same violent reaction. Subject C screams in terror as she is coated with the substance. She collapses, clawing at her skin as it ruptures, black, whistling growths forcing their way out from beneath the tissue. Sam and Rebecca flee, and the clip abruptly ends. The next footage shows Rebecca running, the camera appearing to have been hung loosely from her clothing. She trips and falls to the ground, tumbling several dozen feet before striking the sharp rocks below, resulting in a compound fracture to her leg. Blood begins to pool on the ground. The camera captures a disheveled fox climbing down the rocky cliff face while dragging its back legs behind it. The creature approaches Rebecca, who attempts to scramble away. Once it is close enough, the animal opens its mouth, and a vulture's neck and head extend from deep within its throat. Rebecca can be heard screaming for several seconds before falling silent. The anomalous creature continues feeding until the camera's batteries are depleted. Sam is not present in this portion of footage. The SCP Foundation is still uncertain about the exact nature of SCP-3517. The remains of the 4 missing hikers have not been recovered, despite the apparent deaths of at least 3 of them in the footage. The exact date and time of these recordings cannot be verified, nor can the precise identities of the individuals shown. All confirmed information is derived solely from viewing the footage. The surreal and disturbing fauna and flora that populate the mountain do not correlate with any other creatures known to the Foundation. Researchers examining the footage have noted subtle changes occurring between viewings. Most often, details about the environment, like cloud formations or trees, will change, while events and dialogue exchanged between the 4 hikers remains consistent. All subjects appear to be unaware of these inconsistencies and react accordingly to the encounters they experience. Considered to be safe unless ongoing investigations into the redacted mountain range determine otherwise, any material related to SCP-3517 is to be kept in Secure Locker 3517 at Site-66. Backup copies have been created in redundant file formats and stored across multiple hard drives, as per the Foundation's standard procedure for any non-anomalous recorded media. Further context regarding SCP-3517 is still pending. At present, the fate of Subject B, or Sam, remains unknown.